What's up, guys? It's Jam1 from Jam1TCG coming at you guys with another totally awesome video. And guys, welcome to round 4 of the Crush Card Cup 2020. As again, this is an online tournament hosted by Cimoooooo. And guys, we are in round 4. So let's see how I do. So make sure you guys have watched the other matches before so you guys can kind of get into the mind of the Frog Master here. So we're going to go ahead. This is an interesting match because I'm actually facing one of our viewers. Shout out to him, Zach here. He watches and he knows that I'm the Frog Master. So, like, this is going to be an interesting match for you guys. You guys can probably already tell in the title. But, yeah, so from here, we see my hand. I want a dice roll, and I get to go first. And again, guys, you see the go second cards, but I've already explained to you guys multiple times how this works and why I play them. In short, they help create tempo back in our favor if it swings out of control, because frogs are really hard to win when they go second. But it's okay because we only need a few cards other than those to start. So it's okay drawing going second, cards going first, okay? That's the logic in short. Watch the past matches and you'll see how it works, okay? So yeah, I go first and I go ahead and I just set 2, I believe, because I want to go ahead and get these out of my hand. And, you know, the duplicates are also good food for Dinomischus. So he goes into his main phase. And I don't have anything because I can't activate none of these. He doesn't have any cards yet. So we're talking. If you don't see anything in chat, it's because we're like talking voice chat. So yeah, he goes and he T-sets with all of these face down cards. And I'm like, is he? He's not playing frogs. I'm thinking this might be Guru or something. I'm like, he's just playing Guru or something like that. Or maybe Ultra Guys with a brick, but I doubt it. So I'm like, okay, this looks very froggy, but I didn't want to confirm yet. I wasn't 100% sure. So I'll go ahead and I look at my hand. I'm like, most trap decks, they have to respond to something you do. So I'm like, okay, I don't really have anything to do, and I'm waiting for him to do stuff. So I go ahead and activate Mystic Mind to force some negates or something to see if he can do anything. And he didn't do anything. So I'm like, interesting. Most people would have stopped that. So I'm like, okay, no solemn judgments. So I set a card right here in the same row to negate his card, which we saw as a get out. Accidentally hovered over it. Sorry about that. Not trying to spoil what the opponent is playing. So yeah, I set this here just to negate with whatever, because by habit, most people put cards in the middle row that are important. So he goes and he flips Dinomischus. And I'm like, what? Is he playing a mirror? Is this a mirror match? Or I'm thinking maybe it's Shaddolls or something, right? So he goes and he discards his Call by the Grave and banishes mine. Which, pause right here for a second. So like I told you guys, I've been playing a lot of tournaments lately online. So Pro Play Games tours, big cash money prizes, things like that. I've been playing in that, and I've had the pleasure to face Jeff Leonard, the father of Mystic Mind himself. Mystic Mind is to Jeff Leonard as Totally Awesome is to Jam1TCG. But yeah, I had to play him in one of the rounds. And I saw that my deck had an inherently good matchup against Mystic Mind because we have so much spot removal, right? So I activated Mystic Mind thinking I was safe. And he did basically what I did to Jeff on my end phase. I let him play his Mystic Mind thinking I was safe to do that, and then I just pop it on my turn when it doesn't hinder me because it didn't matter. Like, so now I'm like looking like, dang, wow, he Dinomischus me. That was a really good play. He baited me. And this in control matchups is all about card for card, controlling the game to see who wins, basically, based off of knowing the cards and knowing the matchup and knowing the moves ahead of time that you have to make. So we're going to go ahead and unpause it now. He flips some as a do frog. I'm like, he trolling me. He trying to play the Frog Master. Don't come at the Frog Master with frogs. Like, I'm like, okay. So he is playing frogs. And then he goes ahead and he composes. Or was that a mistake? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, it was a mistake. So I know he has a compulse now, but that was a mistake. That's one problem with these online things. Stuff happens. So he normal summons a Ronin. So I can't let this happen, guys. Most frog players here would go for Totally Awesome, which is probably the best play. So I couldn't let that happen. We have a Dinomischus ourselves, an Imperm, and a Canadia. So I don't want him to gain any advantage here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop him on the summon of this. I have response. I don't want him to do anything. So I'm going to try to dino his Ronin, because since this is a mirror match, in this matchup, if you don't have a Ronin, you kind of out of luck. So he goes ahead and he knows that that's going to happen. He goes ahead and he goes and activates his Compulse to bounce back his Ronin on response to it, because he doesn't want it to get banished, which is the smart move, honestly. And this was like, okay, I knew he had the Compulse, but I was just playing like I didn't know he had it, because I would have done that move regardless. So I discarded a second Mystic Mine because I realized how useless it was. After facing Jeff Leonard himself, I was like, yeah, in this matchup, Mime doesn't do much. So I got rid of it because I still have it evenly in my hand. And then he goes ahead and he chains his Dino-Miscus to his Compulse, which is a good play. Now I'm going to stop him again. I'm like, no, I don't want you to summon Toad, because whoever gets Toad first is kind of the winner, right? So I book a Moon with Canada. I book a Moon his Dude Frog, and then I bring out mine because he put his in defense mode. So I'm like, all right, cool. I got more attack than you. Let's go. And then if he tries to activate any of his trap cards, I'm going to gain another advantage and bring it back. So this ends his turn here because he can't do anything. Like I said, thinking. You got to think ahead here. I knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to get the Toad. I couldn't let that happen. So yeah, go to standby, checking to make sure you didn't have anything. We're on the chat, so that's why you don't see any writing. So yeah, making sure he has nothing in main phase, because you want to pause, especially in these trap matchups. It's too much back and forth. Anything can happen. You can activate cards at any time, so you just want to make sure that they don't have any responses. So I go ahead and I normal summon Lilith. Like I said, shout out to Mike Wiz. He talked about how powerful Lilith is as a normal summon. So I go ahead and I normal summon. This is straight up his tech. Like, again, Frogmaster has his own way, but I definitely like that idea of running Lilith in his deck. So I go ahead and I attack because Lilith has 1,000, he has 0, and I'm trying to put some pressure on him to maybe activate something. Then he's like, pause right here. You guys are like, why are you attacking his Doofrog? You know it's a Doofrog. Why would you do that? And I was trying to make him do something, but also not even that. I needed it to be face up so I can trigger my impermanence and then bring out my Canada to make my own Toad. Because again, whoever makes Toad first wins. I either make Toad or Opie. It just depends on whether or not he does anything here. So I attack, and then I'm going to take some damage because he got a big booty, of course, but I knew that. So I'm going to take like 800, I believe. Yep, 12 from 8. I take 800 damage on right here. And then he's like, I'm confused. Like, why did you do that? I'm like, you'll see. So I go and ask him if he has anything, and I go to main phase 2. On main phase 2, I'm going to go ahead. He has no Paleos in grave, so this is the perfect time for me to unleash my Paleo before, because they can chain off of each other, and whoever chains first wins. So it's just, I mean, it's so weird in this mirror match. But again, Frogmaster here knowing and sculpting the field to my advantage here. So I go ahead and I flip an imperms. This not only doesn't, it negates the column, so it makes this card useless right here and now. So he has to do something, which he doesn't. So I target his card, and I go ahead and ask him if he has any response to it. Because, guys, you want to always ask with Paleos, response. Because if not, they're going to be like, oh, wait, I have something. Just ask them if they have nothing. They say no, then you know that you can activate the Paleo. So I say, do you have a response? And I believe he says no, nothing. So then I go ahead and bring out the Canada, which is also cool because even if he did have a response, let's say that was a trap card. Oops, sorry, I hovered over it. I didn't want to do that. But let's say we know what it is now, but let's say it was a trap card, right? If he would have activated in response, I would have been good. I would have still been able to just go ahead and make the Toad regardless, because I would have brought back another Canada off of his trap, because either trap works. So from this right here, I'm going to go ahead and thinking which Exceed to make. I go for the Toad because I'm like, I got to get it out first. I might as well. And I have Lilith to back it up. So I'm going to set Lilith's effect and set something too. So it looks like our chat had went out and he couldn't hear me. So I was wondering if he was going to do anything. I was making sure he had no place to the summon. I think he finally came back. I called him back or something, and we got the chat back going. And then I go ahead and I activate Lilith's effect now to try to get him to do something. And I try to bring out the ones that I know will stop him. So you saw me think about Canada and then another Dino. So I get a Dino off of the Lilith, which is really good. So I had this evenly matched, and then we're gonna start snowballing with Toad's effect on standby phase to bring out a dupe or a swap frog. I believe I probably should have done swap to keep more advantage, but no, I went for dupe just so he would be stuck on attacking. So now his line of play has to be, how do I get to Toad, right? Is really the only thing he can do. So we know he had that in his hand because he compulsed it, right? He compulsed it the last turn. So he didn't hard draw it, but he did normal summon it, which tells me he has no swap frog. Because if he had a swap frog, he would have just went nuts, but he didn't. So I let this go. And I think that I'm going to think on this because I think I wanted to banish it with Dino-Miscus here. So again, like deny him resources for the grind game. But for some reason I didn't do it. I waited because I was like, oh, hey, if I let him go into Toad, then when he goes into Toad, I can banish his Toad because then he'll try to negate it and he won't be able to do that. So either way, I'll render it useless. So I wait for him to make the Toad, then I flip the Dino. So I ask him if he has a response. So if he has a response, I would negate it with my Toad and then steal his Toad, or I would chain my Dino in graveyard to it. So I'm waiting to see if he does anything. Does he want to negate? He goes ahead and let it get banished, which I was like really confused here for a minute. Like, why did he let it get banished? We only have one Toad. That's scary. But he was probably thinking along the lines of what I was thinking. I kind of had him in check there. Like I told you guys, I played this game like chess. This was check. It was basically before the turn of checkmate, right? Because he's like, okay, if he tribute Toad and my card was a Call by the Grave, I would then make him banish Toad regardless. If he used Toad's effect, I would have negated Toad's effect. Then I would have used my Toad to bring back his Toad. Then I would have had two Toads. So he's really just in check. It's a hard check here. He couldn't do anything. So he just let it get banished. I guess that was the worst of all the evils to him, to just let his Toad get banished. Then I go ahead and chain, since he had no response, I chained my Dino to it. And I discard the evenly because at this point I don't need the evenly. I have everything. So as you guys see, the going second cards aren't dead. I just use them for food for the Dino-Miscus. So now I'm good. I got Toad, still has his negate. He doesn't have anything in graveyard. I mean, he has that play, but he's not going to do anything. Now I draw another evenly, which is meh. But if he gets out of control, I can do stuff. At this point, though, I have advantage. I'm not really afraid of what those face downs are, which we accidentally saw what they were. But at the time, I didn't know what they were. So I'm just like, whatever. I got negate. So I go ahead and bring out the swap frog. Swap frog goes ahead and dumps Ronin boy. We bounce back our swap boy. And then we normal summon for our turn. I'm just trying to bait whatever he has. Like, I just need him to do something, because if he wants to do something, then I'll just go ahead and negate it and then be a hidden card advantage again. So, which I already am, but just over the top here. So I go ahead and I send another one to graveyard. Graveyard is loaded now. We got some Paleos in case he does have some traps. We got another frog. Like, we're good. We're sitting pretty here. So I go ahead and I overlay, because I want to try and really just pick his field apart. So I make Open Bingy because I want to try to go search for the MST. Then he flips Get Out on me. I'm like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I don't really like Get Out, to be honest. I think that Compulse is better because, as you saw, he had to wait turns and turns and turns for me to summon two monsters on the field. I don't like cards that say, if this, then this, because it's so situational, and it puts you in a situation where if that condition is never met, you're kind of stuck. So that's why I knew that card was dead. But Get Out is actually pretty good right here, because now he kind of forces my negate, which it doesn't matter though, because it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's why I don't like Get Out. I like Compulse better, guys. Just so you know, if you're a Paleo player watching this, Compulse is probably better. I go ahead and I tribute my Swap Frog. That's why I left it on field. Because I don't want to tribute my Toad here. If I tribute Toad, that would have been an old line of play, but now that we only have one Toad, if it gets called by the grave, you're done. Which we know that it is called by the grave, actually. So I would have been in trouble if I would have done that. So I negated and I grab his Get Out just in case he wants to overextend later. Now I have it. So Toad said, give me that. He took his tongue and he licked it to the side of the field. And now we're sitting pretty. I'm just like, okay. I still have Opie, so now I'm going to pick his field apart. I go ahead and I detach with Opie to add one of our Paleo cards. Then Opie is kind of like Makia, the Destroyer, ban card, right? I can use trap cards on my turn, as long as he's face up, as long as they're paleo cards. So I go ahead and I add that to hand, and I go ahead and I shotgun it to get rid of his last card. And he flips over to Call by the Grave. I think he chains it and tries to get rid of one of my cards. I believe he goes for Ronin. That's the best play right here. Since he was mad that he couldn't get my Toad engraved, which again, I wasn't going to let him do that. I denied him that, thinking turns ahead. So yeah, he goes ahead and he banishes Ronin, which I almost misplayed here. I was about to try to send another Ronin back because I have a way to get it back. We could have went with Leloucha and then brought it back. And I also have a Paleo engraved, right? But I was like, no, there's no reason to do that because Call by the Grave actually negates the monster's effect. So Ronin is dead now, so I'm just going to leave it there. Let him think. I'm going to play victim and let him think. Just like he did with the Mime, let him think that I don't have any plays outside of this, which I do. I had plenty. So I'm just going to go straight to battle phase, I believe. There's nothing else to do. I have everything else all set up. Yep, go to battle phase, hit him in the face with Toad, and then I'm going to go to let him go to his turn. No more materials with Toad, but that's fine. We're sitting pretty. He has only one Ronin, so I still have a negate. I contribute Opie here, or Toad himself, which I don't want to do, especially now that I've seen the Call by the Grave. I'm not doing that, but I contribute Opie to negate it. He goes and sets one, and looks like he didn't draw a Swap Frog or nothing, so I'm good. I'll go to my turn now. And, ooh, this is a really nice draw here. We got the Oleanoids again, so I'm just like, this is really good. I was going to search in the other one, to be honest with you, but just drawing it was pretty nice. It let me go into some other plays. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick his field apart now. Again, because Opie is face up, I can use it from my hand. So I go ahead and target the one he just set first because psychology in playing, normally when you set a card, the first one you set is the important one because your brain just like prioritizes it and subconsciously you set it. So I thought that was the important card. So I go ahead and I pop that one. And it was an order, which it was dead, so that didn't really matter. And then yeah, I chained my other one in graveyard to bring out the Oleanoids. And then yeah, so now I'm looking really good here. I got negates for this last card. I'm gonna go ahead and just OP bring out another card, and I get the last Oleanoids because I just want to pick his field apart. Like at this rate, I know that he doesn't really have much, and one negate with Toad is good enough. So I go ahead and I bring an Oleanoids to hand, and then we activate the Oleanoids. This was kind of a misplay by me right here, because if that was a call by imperm, I'm sorry, guys. It was an imperm. I put it in the same column, so he would have actually been able to negate. But it didn't matter because either way, this was his only card, right? But in future reference, don't put cards in the same column, okay? It's really bad. So he has his Oleanoids, and then he goes ahead and he pops his get out with it. He chains it. But because he did that, I'll chain my other Paleo in graveyard. So again, this is check. I have him in check. He really can't do any plays right here. So he gets rid of get out. I don't care. I didn't need it. I don't like it anyways. So I go ahead and, yeah, now I have a lot of plays. I go ahead and make Koro. So he's like, whoa, does he have access to Ronin? Yes. This is why we have access to Ronin, because I can go ahead and bring back the Swap Frog with Koro. As you guys see me use Koro before, it's basically a monster reborn for water monsters. It lets you bring back 1 point into the arrow, and then you're locked into water monsters, which is okay. This was the only thing of the Marince's cards that I think were really good, and I kept it in my extra deck. Other than that, the Marince's stuff wasn't that good, guys, sadly. So, yeah, I go ahead and I show him that I can bring back Swap Frog. He wasn't playing this card, so he actually didn't see it. He was like, whoa, what is that? And I'm like, yeah, watch. I'll bring back Swap Frog and then get back to Ronin. And then he sees, like, okay, I can't really do anything. And I believe he scoops right here. Yep, he scooped. So he couldn't do anything. But yeah, Koro is really strong, guys. I love Koro. She's really powerful. She was probably the best Marince's card. So of course he probably is gonna go first here, because why would you not? I just side in all my hate, all my going second cards. I thought about it, and Mystic Mind probably wasn't. I probably should have took it out because, again, I told you guys I played Jeff Leonard the day before this, and I was able to beat Jeff Leonard's Mystic Mind because of all of the cards that Paleo have. So I probably should have took it out, but I was just like, might as well just have some go second cards, because if he makes a board, it's going to be busted. So he goes ahead and goes into the Swap Frog play, which is really good opening. Swap Frog plus any water is such a good opening. And I thought he was going to do the Koro play here. I thought he was going to be like me, but he told me later he wasn't running it. But yeah, he goes and makes a Toad, I believe. He bounces it back. He saves time instead of doing it. He bounces it back and normal summons it again. So he goes for the Toad play, I believe. He banishes, summons the Ronin. Ronin brings back. And then I think he goes into Toad right here. He doesn't want to risk anything crazy. Yeah, he just goes straight into Toad. And then sets the face down, another face down, which is pretty strong. Set 3 would have been scarier, but set 2 with a Toad is pretty good. And then now I'm thinking here, like, okay, I draw Oli Noise. That's pretty good, but it's kind of slow. I need to do something here to get rid of his field or make him do stuff. Of course, in standby phase, he's going to go ahead and trigger Toad's effect and bring out probably Do Frog. Yep, brings out Do Frog. So I'm like, okay, now I got to get rid of the Toad negate. Well, here we go. I'm going to force the negate. I believe I just slap a Mystic Mind down. So I'm like, yeah, make you do something. He lets it go through, and I'm like, why did he do that? Similar to the first game, he was playing a victim. He had something, which I kind of figured at this point. So I go ahead and I set my dusters to get ready for next turn, and I set the Lelouch. Drawing Lelouch is bad. The reason why I play it, though, is because you can search it off of OP, which is very strong, and then you can bring back and keep going. But it's in case our Toad gets called by or something, right? It lets us replace one of our banished cards to the graveyard. So I just set this to have some stuff ready and then also get something engraved. Then again, there it goes on an end phase, playing victim. He flips over just like I did to Jeff Leonard. He goes and he flips this to get rid of the mine on the end phase and make me think I have false security and I'm safe with mine. I'm not. Okay, he could have shotgunned it, but then I would have just played another mine. So this is kind of a good play on his part. He discards his Compose, and yeah, Dino Miscus banishes, and I'm like, dang, okay, that's really good. So now Toad is like unrestricted here, and that's scary. I'm like thinking, how do I bait his Toad, and how do I like get rid of it? Actually, I don't know. So he top decks, and he goes and he gonna use standby phase Toad effect, bring out a Swap Frog and Center Ronin. Now, guys, this was one instance where I was so glad that Toad is to 1 because he could have made another Toad if the ban list didn't kill our guy. But yeah, he goes and he has now a lot of control over me. So he goes and he bounces it back and he normal summons it again and sends another one. Again, he just skipped it, so like you didn't see the animation there, but he skipped it and just told me that in the chat. And then he brings out his Ronin. This is looking scary. I'm like, wow, am I about to lose here? Because he has everything. He got Zoroark. He has everything to start picking my field apart. So what he pops here really depends on whether I scoop or not. So it's scary. So he goes into Phoenix, and he's going to go Phoenix pop, discard, which a Paleo is really good. I'm like, wow, he has all the answers. This is looking really scary. This is how players on the other end of me doing this look. Like, they're like, wow, he's going nuts. That's how I felt here. So he goes and discards, and he targets the Lelouch, which was good because by targeting the Lelouch, I needed him to hit a Paleo. If he hit a Paleo, I was kind of okay. But targeting the Lelouch was the best case scenario out of the 3 because now I can block his attack. Because I knew he was going to go Borosaur. He had to. Lelouch was useless here, so it's fine. Then he goes ahead and he styles on me some more, banishes a Ronin again, brings out another Ronin, banishing Swap Frog. Then he keeps going. He just got all of the answers, the nuts, the stones. I'm just like, man, this is really scary. It really depends how he does this here. So then he goes and he makes something with his 2. I'm like, what is he making? And then I think it was a mistake on his part. He didn't mean to do that. So he went and said something else instead. Security Dragon, which was interesting to me. I'm like, why did he go Security Dragon here? And he brings back another Ronin here. And then he's going to go into IP. So now I see why. He could go Avamax here if he really wanted to, which Avamax is pretty powerful against this deck because a lot of our stuff targets, right? And then as you see, my cards here aren't really that good. So Indestructible IP Avamax would have been really, really strong here. But I think he decided that he was like wondering, should he go for game with Borosaur or just make Ava? Which looks like he decided to go for Borosaur instead, right? Because he wanted to kill me, which was kind of risky because what if this was a Solemn? What if it was anything to stop him? But I think he just decided to take the risk and go for it anyways. He also had a Toad, so he's kind of safe. with a negate there. So he goes for the Borosaur. So this is an indestructible Borosaur because he made it with IP. So it can't be destroyed by battle nor card effects, which is really strong. And yeah, he's gonna go for battle. As soon as he enter battle, I go ahead and I flip over my Oleanoids to try to target whatever this was. We see it's a call by the grave. I thought it was a trap, but he had no response, so I was like, cool, I'm going to bring out the Lelouch, which was why I was so happy that he hit that with Phoenix. So now I block his attack a little bit. He can't OTK me anymore. So this gives me another turn to try to do something here. So he goes ahead and he attacks over it. I believe he pumped it up with his effect, right? And then I think he misplayed here. He attacks again. He attacked with his Borosaur because he switched his Toad to defense mode, which he should have waited to attack with Toad first to do more damage and then attack with the Borosaur. But we're in a tournament, so we both agree. He said it already. He wasn't going to take it back. So good sportsmanship here. He decides to do that instead. Even though he misplayed a little bit there, he could have got more damage in. It wouldn't have mattered, though, either way. He wasn't killing me. And like I told you guys before, I don't care about my life points. I literally don't care about my life points. I'm not playing any of the strikes or none of that, so my life points don't matter. What matters is here you're going to see the power of Mystic Mind in Frogs. He has tempo right now, control. He has control of the field, and I'm like, what do I do? Oh, man, I'm fine. All I got to do right here is slap a Mystic Mind on him. So he decides not to negate with Toad, which was interesting to me. But again, remember, guys, it's not completely a misplay. He was afraid that I might have had Call by the Grave. So he didn't want me to Call by the Grave his Toad, and that's why he didn't do anything to stop the Mystic Mind, which in hindsight he might have should have because I didn't have it. But I still think it was debatable whether or not this was right or wrong. I can't say because he didn't know what I was playing face down, and also we don't know what he would have drawn. So I think he decided to realize that he had control and just let that go ahead, which is really good for me because now I can stall here. This is why Mystic Mind is so good here. So he goes to his turn, he draws. Not sure what he top decks, but it doesn't really matter. I have time to kind of stall here. So we're going to go ahead. He sets one. He switched over back to attack mode. And then, cool, I'm good. I get to just sit here and draw cards. I draw the Dino. That's really good because the only way to get rid of that Borosaur is by Kaijuing or banishing it. Or the only way to get rid of the Toad would be, since he's stuck under Mystic Mind, he can't use Toad's effect to stop it. I think that is more valuable to go for the Toad, so I plan in my head to get rid of the Toad in a couple turns, okay? Hoping that he doesn't have another Dino or anything, which he seemed to not, so because he would have done it already. So I set the that right there, the Dino Miscus, and then I let him go. So we're going to see the power of control here. He keeps setting his cards, and I keep setting my cards. I'm trying to scope the field back into my favor. That's what Mystic Mind is for. I want to get the field back to my way that I can win because he had advantage. Now he's kind of losing his advantage here. So I keep setting cards. I drew a Compose. So now we got Compose set. It looks like it froze again. Give it a second here. But yeah, we just keep setting cards. So I set the Compose. I have a Dino. I believe one of those are Imperm. It's frozen. Okay, there you go. So we have right here, yeah, Dino Imperm and then Dusters. Now, Dusters is really good in this matchup, but I was afraid that he was playing the Awaken and Dragon package, so I didn't want to just pop anything like blindly. Which I think Awaken Dragon package is garbage because you guys have to wait for your opponent to do something. I don't like it. As I told you, I don't like if this then when. I hate those effects. They don't work. So I don't pop nothing because I'm afraid. I just want to get my advantage to make sure I have complete control here. And I'll leave that as I play that there because I'm like, okay, and I have two Dino Miscus, so I can really get rid of his field. You guys see how this is working, right? His field is no longer a threat to me after a couple turns under mine. So that's why it's really good. He goes ahead, he draws, he sets a card, and we're just going to play this waiting game to see who can kill who first. I draw the Swap Frog here, and I'm like, okay, this is perfect. So this is an interaction with mine that's like so powerful that this is why I play it also. So I summon the Swap Frog, and I can keep bouncing it back to my hand and dumping my grave to scope my grave to my favor, okay? So he can't do anything unless he has a face down, which I'm trying to bait it. Maybe he has a judgment. Maybe he has something to strike. I want to bait his cards. So I go ahead and I normal summon the Swap Frog, and I don't think he does anything. So I go ahead and I send a Ronin. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm going to just keep on bouncing back, and we just going to watch him and see what he can do. I know it's a little bit boring sometimes when you watch this, but it's actually really a lot of calculation going here to what those cards could be and then what I have here to basically end him. Because I'm trying to end the game. I don't care what he has. I just want to end the game. When I draw the second Swap Frog here, I'm like, okay, I really need to start doing something because he might build his advantage back up. So I decide to go ahead and normal summon again, bounce it back, try to bait some cards. He doesn't do anything here. I decided to wait like one more turn before I really start doing something, I believe. I knew that he didn't have anything still, so he's just waiting. We're both waiting. I'm checking my grave to make sure I got everything good, which as we look here, my grave is kind of loaded a little bit. Not yet, though. We still waiting. I got the Paleo engraved for his responses. Now I'm going to start picking his field apart because I want to kill him now. This is where I'm trying to end the game right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop. I'm going to use the Dino Miscus, see if he has any response. And then I want to get rid of his Toad because that's his one of. Once Toad's gone, it's over. Because I don't think he's playing this like I am, right? So I banish it. He doesn't have any response. Now that he doesn't do this, this is why mine is so powerful. Watch this. I'm going to chain to bring back my Oleanoids. Now, since this is still all in end phase, guess what happens? Mine can get destroyed, and I don't have to waste my own cards to destroy it. So this is another niche interaction here with mine. Mine is so powerful, guys. I don't know why they didn't ban this card. So yeah. Still in phase, he doesn't have anything. Mine auto-destructs itself. And now I'm ready to end the game right here. You guys are looking at my hand like, how does he end the game? I have so many plays here. Like, we look in our extra deck. I can go, actually, you guys can't see it. That's fine. I can go into Zoroboros. I can go into Avamax. Or I can go into my own Borosaur. In which we know that his Borosaur doesn't matter here because I have Imperm and I have a Dino Miscus to get rid of it and a Compulse. So I'm sitting pretty here. I'm like, I don't care what you have. So let's start baiting some of these cards now because I still got to play through all of these cards. So I go ahead and I discard the Toad or the Swap Frog, the discard, and then send one. And now my graveyard is like completely stacked here. I have all the stuff that I need here. Looks like it froze again. Give it a little second. My computer is running a lot of programs right now to record this for you guys, so it kind of freezes sometimes. So, okay. So, look, I go ahead and I'm looking at my graveyard here. It's stacked. I am sitting pretty here. Doesn't matter what he has. I know that I have enough resources to out-resource him. So, I go ahead and compulse the Borosaur to not deal with it and try to chain another Paleo here. I want him to do something. He's not doing anything. So I'm like, why isn't he chaining any of his Paleos? He must have a plan or something. So I go ahead and I bring out another Paleo and I try to do stuff. Remember, you always ask, do you have a response before you make them do something? Because he could have been like, no, I'm going to chain. But no, I said response. He said no. So I brought out mine instead and before he brought out his. Yeah. So right here, I go ahead and I link summon into IP. Because I want to end him. I'm trying to end him here. I was going to go for Zoroboros, I believe, to just banish everything. Or I was going to go Borosaur. Either way, he has to stop this. So I go ahead and I banish again to bring out another Ronin. And then here's the call by. I assume one of them was there because we saw him play it earlier. So I assume he had it. So now this turns off my turn a little bit. So I'm like, okay. Pause right here for a second. This did turn off the Ronin token because if you guys know Call by the Graves effect, right? It stops deactivation of effects. I could have easily got back another Ronin token with the other one in graveyard and summoned again, but because the Call by was active, I would have been a misplay for me to try to use another Ronin token. So now I'm thinking here, how do I craft a field? You saw in my hand though, right? I have Silver Surfer. I knew that I didn't waste my normal summon yet. I special summoned on purpose. So I'm looking at how can I craft the field to my advantage. That's the whole point, right? So you're going to see this pro move here. I didn't want to do this, but I kind of had to, or else he would have snowballed into advantage. Because look at his grave. His grave is loaded too, right? So I didn't want to like risk it. So from here, I go in. I'm going to banish my own IP. to summon Border, because Border has this weird clause that says you can't normal summon him if you control monsters. So I had to get my own field clear. So Swap Frog comes back to me, and then I go ahead and ask him if he has any response to this. I'm also trying to bait his Paleos here to see if he has anything else, right? So I don't know if he said if he did or not, but I go ahead and tell him I'm targeting my IP. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm targeting IP. Any response? I discard the second Border, banish my IP. Not a misplay at all, guys. This is so perfect. Then I normal summon my Border. The reason why this is perfect is because it shuts off his graveyard now. Now all he has is weak Paleos. He can't bring out his Ronin stuff. So I'm like, let's go. And I still have my pops, and I still have a negation. So even if he does make an extra deck monster, I'll negate his effect. So yeah, we're looking good. I go ahead and smack him with battle now. Mystic Mine shenanigans are over. I have enough control that I don't need Mine. And I realize that I have to get rid of Mine, or else he's going to get rid of it first because he has cards. Like I said, that we learned that from our Jeff Leonard matchup. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and hit him with Border and end my turn. He now has some cards. It looks like he has advantage, but he doesn't, because remember, we have our dusters here. And Border is shutting off all his cards. So I have complete control here. And I have more Paleos in grave too. So I'm looking good. Either way, I'm good. So he goes into his main phase. He sets. And at this point, he doesn't really have anything, it seems. But I think he might be playing Victim again, because he does that a lot. And in trap matchups, it's all about the mind games, guys. It's all about the mind games. So this is a crazy mirror match that you guys are like hopefully enjoying, to understand why it's important to think ahead when you're playing control. So I draw another Border, which is not that good. So I'm looking at what can I do. I turned off my own effects too, so I can't kill him, but I can do some other things here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to battle and just keep smacking him in the face with Silver Surfer. I'm just trying to chip away at his life points because I know that I still have complete control. So I set the Border. You can set it, and next turn, hopefully I can flip it over and then get in 4,000 damage perfectly to end him, because he's at 4,000 right now. So he goes to his turn. Basically, at this rate, he has to start doing something. If he doesn't, he's in trouble. But he can't get rid of the Border. So I'm wondering, like, maybe he has a dino. Maybe he has something to do it. I don't know what he's going to do. Looks like it might have froze again. Give it a minute. Okay, he just ends his turn there. So, yeah. So we're going to see here that I draw a Lilith, which is okay. It's not terrible. But, again, Border is stopping me from making effects, too. So both Swap Frog and Lilith are dead. I could have hit him with dusters, but again, I was afraid of Awakening Dragon, because if he did flip Awakening, I had nothing to stop a OT Falcon. I couldn't stop Ultimate Falcon. So I assumed that he was playing it, and I didn't want to just shotgun it. So I'm just going to keep playing it safe and just smack him again with Border. I could have flipped it over the second one, but I didn't want to. I was just like waiting to play victim a little bit of him and make him think that I had nothing else. Maybe he thought this was a Dew Frog or something, right? So I just kind of wanted to bait him a little bit and see if he would do anything. And go to the main phase 2. Still nothing. I'm like, why is he waiting so hard? It's so interesting to me. So now he's going to go to his turn, and he still doesn't have anything, it doesn't seem, right? So we're going to look here. And he's playing this really well. The mind games are so real for both of us here. So I don't think he does anything, but I know he still has the Paleos, right? So I want to try to end him. I would have to get more monsters on board in order to end him. So, because he would just chain his cards, and then he would have some defense mode monsters. So I go ahead, I draw Lost Winds. Pretty good in this matchup, actually. But I want to just try to end him right here. So I go ahead and go into my battle phase and try to just play simple and end it with the 2,000, because all he has left is 2,000. This forces him to finally do something. I know he has something, but what does he have is the question. There he goes. He flips a Canadia. So when he did this, I asked him if he had a response. Was he going to try to chain one of his Paleos in grave, or can I chain mine, basically, is what was happening here. So I decided to bring mine out, I believe, because it's like, why not, right? So yeah, he didn't have anything. So I brought out mine, 1,200. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking here, he's not going to activate his Paleo, so I can still win here, or at least do some more damage. So right here, I go ahead and he books the Border, with his Canada, and I go ahead and hit him again with 12. I'm just like, okay, looking good, looking good, looking good. So he let that go through. I'm like, okay, wow, he's at 800. It's so close to being over, but I couldn't end him right here. So it's okay. I'm just thinking what I could do. I looked in my graveyard, it looks like. What did I have? Yeah, I could set up a Toad play here, or I could set up an OP. It just really depends. I was thinking I'm just going to normal summon and use Swap Frog and go for something. Right there, I kind of went too fast, and he said that he had something, so I was like, okay, sorry. So he had something on the summon. I go ahead and like put this back and let him do that. He flips over to D barrier here, which is really powerful. He stopped my Exceed play, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. I just want him to waste cards. I don't care. It's fine. I still have advantage here, so I'm just like, all right, fine. He calls Exceed monsters. I can't make a Toad or OP. It's fine. And then I'm just gonna go ahead. And then he changed his Dino-Miscus because all he can do is traps because Ronin Tonin is stuck. So he's trying to build his advantage back. That's what he's doing here. So I go ahead and bring Swap Frog back. Then I flip over my other border because he thought, ooh, I can make cards now on my turn. And I was like, nope, haha, here's another border. So that border is stuck because it attacked, but this border was fine. And then I go ahead and set Lost Winds. In case he does bring out Toad, I'll be able to just stop his Toad with border, basically. And he would have no effects again. So I'm good. I'm just sitting pretty here, guys. Again, I still don't know what his 3 face downs are, but it's looking really good here. So he goes and he's going to set a card, and now he's stuck. He could have made Ronin, but because this border is here, he's stuck. So he could have also flipped like a Compulse or something, but he must not have had it. So he goes ahead and he ends his turn. I go to my turn. I draw a Compulse. Speaking of Compulse, I'm like, this is even better. So second main phase, I'm going to flip my border. This might have been a little greedy. I probably should have. I wanted to just pressure him. If he had more trap cards, I wanted him to flip the last Paleo and then attack, and then end it, right? But it didn't plan out the way I see. You're going to see what he does. So I go ahead and I attack his Dino-Miscus with my Dino-Miscus. It's in defense mode, so it's got 0. I got 12. I'm good. And then he flips a Storming Mirror Force on me. I'm trying to hover over it so you guys can see. It looks like it froze again. Here it goes. Storming Mirror Force. I used to play this card. It's actually a really good card. No one sees it coming. It basically bounces. It's like a Compulse on steroids. It bounces back all your attack position monsters like a Mirror Force. Would destroy, it will bounce. So he bounces all my monsters back here, and it's looking really, really, really bad now. I'm like, yikes. That was savage. So I don't have a Paleo to chain, so I let it resolve. And I could have done something here, but nope. I just let it resolve. So that's really good. And he chains his own Paleo, the last one in graveyard, which I knew he was going to do before, but having the mirror was so unexpected there, man. So unexpected. Such a good player. Such a good play. So I'm like, wow, okay. That bounces back all of this stuff. And as you see, this is such a grindy game because it's literally every card matters. One card can end you. If you're not right in control matchups, one card can be the end of the game. Okay, so that's why it's so back and forth here. We're both just trying to survive and control the field because one slip up is over. So I didn't waste my normal summon yet, so it's okay. I believe here I have so many plays with my normal summon. Even though Lilith is a really good normal summon, I think I'll go ahead and summon Border back to ice him again. Yep, I wanted to ice him. I just didn't want him to get no effects because remember, we're sitting pretty on a Lost Winds in Perm. So even if he got into another monster through his extra deck, I would still be okay to negate the one of effect that he gets off of Border. Because if you guys aren't familiar with Border, remember, they get effects based off of if they have extra deck monsters. And then I set the Compulse, and I have a Compulse, so I can bounce back whatever he has. So Border control is so good. Like, Silver Surfer is one of the best cards. I love that card. I might have to take it out in this format, though, because it hasn't been doing much against, like, Eldritch. But we'll see. But against matchups like this, is so good. So he doesn't have Ronin access, and he goes ahead and he just sets. He has a play, though. He does have an Exceed play. So what does he do? This was unexpected. I kind of thought he could have had one, but I didn't know that he had it because I thought he would have used it before. So he goes ahead and he compulses, and he has a Paleo engraved. So he's probably going to chain his Paleo. He asks me if I have any response to his compulse. I don't remember if I do anything. I don't think I do. I think I let it go through because I still have all of these other cards, and I have the compulse for his monster. So he goes ahead and I didn't say anything. I let him do it. So he goes in, he makes his Canadia. So, which is really good. Now he has access to a Toad play or an Opabinya play, but he also has access to this. He goes and overlays 3, which I was like, interesting. He's going to make Apapapalaka, whatever the heck the thing's name is. This one. I don't like this one. You guys have heard me say it before. I don't really like it, but it's like a Dryden of Paleo. I don't like it because it takes too many resources. You see, he had to waste 3 of them. Yes, they'll go to the graveyard, but you're going to see this pro play that I do to make, remember, card by card, it's important, right? We're going to make it useless here. So he summons it, and he goes into battle phase. Life points are not that important, but I go ahead and in damage calculation, use lost wins to negate his effect and cut his attack points in half, which is good because I don't want to destroy it. If I destroy it, he gets those Paleos back into graveyard. But look, now he doesn't have any Paleos in graveyard. And now, by doing that, I cut his attack points in half, which means he doesn't even have his pops anymore. So this is really good. And I did it in damage calculation, so he couldn't use the chain his effect. I know you guys are probably like, why didn't he chain Dryden pop? He couldn't pop because we were in damage calculation. So in damage calculation, he wasn't able to activate anything else. That's why Lost Wind is such a good card. And it can also reset itself back to the field when he does something later, right? So now he's sitting weak. He trapped all of his Paleos underneath this. Oops, I didn't mean to mouse over that. He has these face down cards that we don't know what they are. We saw that one accidentally. Sorry about that. But we don't know what they are. So I'm just confused. I'm like, wow. Okay. I'm still sitting pretty here. So I decide to think, what is better? Do I summon a border? And I think border in this matchup is so good. I just summon a border again and he compulse. He thinks he doesn't know I have another one either. So now I try to go into battle to scare him a little bit to do something. And he goes ahead and he trap tricks. I don't think I have any Paleos. No, I don't. But he goes and trap tricks into something powerful, I believe. And I'm like, okay, that's really good. So he trap tricks. What does he go into? Oh, okay, a compulse. He does another compulse. Oh, wait, no, sorry, not compulse. I'm sorry, Dinomischus. I'm looking at the wrong card. So he goes into a Dinomischus, which is pretty good. He knows that he has to get rid of the border because, again, the border is what's stopping him from doing his explosive plays. So, yeah. He's basically, I'm trying to attack over it. I'm forcing him to use a Dino here. He goes ahead and he uses the Dino to banish. The back and forth of this match is so incredible. This was a fun game, guys. I really had enjoyed playing Zach in this one. Like I said, really, he's a subscriber, so it was really a pleasure to play somebody that actually knows how to play this deck too. So he goes and he dinos and gets rid of his useless what's the name, Imperial Order, because it's probably not doing much for him. So he got rid of my Silver Surfer. Now I'm thinking, what do I do here? I wasted my normal summon, so that's pretty good. And at this rate, I'm just thinking I might as well go ahead and try to protect myself with the Ronin in graveyard. And also, now that I know that he used his Dinomischus, I'm safe to not get it banished. And his Call by the Grave, if he had it, he would do it right now if he has a third one. But it's okay because I know that I have an imperm right here to stop whatever this card is. So I'm pretty good. If that was called by, I was all right. So it wasn't, and I go ahead and defend myself because remember, Lost Winds is permanent. He's still at 14 attack. 12 attack because it couldn't have, and he couldn't do anything. So it's just as weak as a Paleo. It's basically a big Paleo that he trapped all his other Paleos under. So that's why I did that. So now he's stuck. He doesn't have any access to Paleos except Dino, and then he just keeps setting cards, which now, like I told you guys, it's really about who has the Toad. He banished. Remember, I got his Toad banished last when he was under mine. So I'm not afraid of a Toadally Awesome. I don't care. He doesn't have anything left. This is pretty much all he has left. So now I decide to do it. I was like, you know what? I waited long enough. If it's Awakening Dragon, I'll lose here. If not, I'm up a game. It doesn't matter. But I was like, Awakening Dragon, if you have it, you have it. This was really risky, but I did it. I decided to go ahead and pop the cards he just said. So I hit a Get Out, and I hit another Canada. So I was like, whew, no Awakening Dragon, we're good. Now we're basically reset the game back to the turn before, right? Again, control, we're all about turn by turn, trying to get into checkmate here, like playing it like chess. So I'm like, okay, what do? I have Swap Frog, so we're good. And I believe I'm gonna go ahead and summon a Swap Frog. Yep, I summoned a Swap Frog. That was the best line of play here. Summon a Swap Frog. Try to bait anything. He didn't have anything. I don't believe. Oh yeah, Solly J. He's Solemn Judgment Swap Frog, which was really, 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 really strong because I had no Paleos in graveyard. Period. I can't change to that anyways, but I didn't have any way to get back my cards. So you can see the mind of a frog player or a control player, period. He knows that I have no way to do anything else. Because if I would have summoned this Swap Frog normally with the effect, then he wouldn't have bothered doing that. But he knew that he had the life points still. Of course, with Judgment, doesn't matter. And he's down to 400 measly life points, but it didn't matter. He stopped my power play. Because I was going to go into some either Swap Frog or Coral. As you guys saw Coral before, I could have like brought back some stuff. I could have did some stuff, but now I'm just thinking here, as you see, what do I do now that he did that? I kind of couldn't do anything else. These cards are dead. I could have bounced that back, but I don't want to give him back those Paleos that's underneath this thing. So that's why I just kind of wait and just kind of think of what I can do. I believe I just intern here. Yep. Now I know that, okay, he only has one card left, right? So what is that card? It's been sitting there for so long that I know it's kind of dead, right? So now I'm just like, okay, you got to beat over this. You can't. And he's just like stuck. He's so stuck because he cannot get rid of this thing. The only way he could would be to like trigger a trap and then link summon it away, but he couldn't get another monster. So I draw into Oleanoids, which is really good. But again, I'm trying to clear his field. I don't know what to do here. I'm just thinking, how do I clear his field? How do I end the game? And the only thing I can think of is his life points are so low. If I can somehow just summon Border again and just smack over it, I would win. And he wouldn't be able to do anything. But how do I get to that? So I go ahead and I set the Border because remember, you can't normal summon Border if you control a monster. So I wasn't able to just do it now, so I was sad. So I'm like, how do I win? I'm going to go ahead and just set this to probably pop the card he just set. And it's a trap trick. I'm like, dang, how does he have so many targets for trap trick, even though like the time has been like with mime, and he has another card with trap trick. I'm like, wow, that's really good. He goes ahead and he brings out his Oleanoids, and then he's gonna set. This is a really powerful play. Oleanoids are Duster on end phase, and then pop cards that like your opponent just set. It's really strong. And then he goes ahead and he brings out his Canadia. Now I don't know if he was playing around Waking the Dragon here or not. He might have been thinking that I was playing it, but I'm not playing that package. So he would have been cool to pop, but you still got to think about it just in case. So that's why he didn't pop it right away. Most likely. I don't know his whole thought pattern, but I'm assuming that's why he didn't. So now I'm just like, what can he do here? I don't know what he's actually going to do. He brought down another one. Like I said, he has a line of play where he could link summon, right? And then get those Paleos in graveyard. But then it still wouldn't really do much for him. And then I have all of these cards to get rid of whatever monster he's going to summon. So I'm like, I don't care. I just need, like I said, my plan to end the game, summon Border, smack over his weak monster, one of his Paleos or something, or those weekend things. So he goes ahead and he Oleanoids the card. He must have thought like I'm gonna do it now. He Oleanoids my Oleanoids, which doesn't do anything. I'm gonna chain it and then try to get rid of his last card here, which was an evenly match. And I was like, okay, interesting, but it didn't really do him much good right now. Then he chains and brings out his other Dinomiskins. Okay, pro plays here. He could have. I'm pretty sure he knows that this is a Spectre Border phase now. Or it's a frog or something. He knows it's something. He knows it's a powerful card, right? He could have right here go into Phoenix or something and then get stuff into grave, or he can go for the power play and make F-Zero. Most people aren't thinking about F-Zero, but F-Zero is an amazing card that you can play in Paleozoic because we always have Exceed monsters on the field. I used to play F-Zero back in the day. Master Ruel 4 rolled around and it got weak, but he can go F-Zero here. And I was afraid that he was going to, which he goes ahead and he overlays into Opabinia. So 2 things here. The line of play I just discussed with you, he could go into that, or he can go ahead and he can use OP and start popping my cards. And I didn't want that to happen. So I just, on summon of this thing, I just go ahead and thinking here, I'm just going to compulse it. So he just denies him any access to anything. Sure, he'll get 2 Paleos in graveyard, but I don't care. I also reset Lost Winds because he summoned a monster from the extra deck, so I can do that. That's Lost Winds effect there. So yeah, I'm gonna say after that, I'm just gonna compulse that. Compulse the OP. I don't want to mess around here. And also, I can chain my Paleo or he can chain his. Either way, it doesn't matter. I just don't want him to get anything. I'm like, if he goes F0, that would be sad. But I tried to chain my Paleo, but he chained his Paleo instead. So he goes ahead and he gets his Paleo back. And then OP is gone, and I'm just denying all hope he has to try to come back. Like I said, this is why I don't like this guy. It stuck him into not having as much resources. Like, sure, he didn't know I had a Lost Winds, but, like, I denied him so many turns of resources because he made this. It was a way to punish him there. So he goes ahead and he has no other way. I'm not about to flip a trap. He has no other way to trigger, and he doesn't have a frog in hand. So it's basically looking really good here. I'm just like, okay, my line of play that I just mentioned to you guys, all I need to do is summon Border and smack over him for game. So I denied his summons, and I'm not afraid of these cards anymore. Like, I know that they could be something, but at this rate, he just went through so many cards that I don't think he has anything. So I just flip some in my Border, and then this is simple. Sometimes simple is the best way to win a game, guys. Just keep it simple. Don't do nothing fancy. Just, I put this into attack mode too because I want to just put some pressure on him here and get rid of his card so he can't make a toad. If he does survive this turn, like, I want to make sure that he can't do anything. So 0 defense mode and then 1200 attack. He only has 400 life points left. I'm just going to go straight into smacking him with Border. And that should be the end of the game if he doesn't have anything. And it looks like he does or doesn't. What does he do? He knew that he didn't have anything. And you'll see here in the replay here, he shows me his face downs, not showing my face downs. And then he was going to tell me what he was trying to do, like he was going to make F0. This is what F0 is, guys, if you're not sure what it is. This card is so cool. I love F0. It basically is the card that Yuya, and I show him that I have my own F0 too. That's how I knew that he was going to go into that play. A good frog player plays this card, guys. Like, it's too easy to make. It's basically Borolo Dragon back in the day. And if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexo, Yuma, the main character, this is the card he makes in like one of his last duels. I'm not going to spoil which one, but yeah, this is like one of his most powerful cards that he makes. And basically it allows you to take control of your opponent monster. Comment below if you think this is a really good tech. I think it's really powerful. It's one of the best cards and power cards that we have to replace Toad. And once we get the there's gonna be a Utopic Dragon in the future coming out. That card is nuts. You can just overlay it on top of this, and it's just crazy. I can't wait till that card comes out. Stick around for the next Crush Cup. It's gonna be on the screen. Click it somewhere. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but click it. Watch this video. See how we doing.